Hello everyone, I hope you're doing fine. My name is Skyline. There are 4 healers in Overwatch right now, and one, arguably 2 other heroes that fill a support role. You don't usually see more than 1 or 2 in a game, so it can be hard to pick out what support is best. A lot of players still default to, Ana and Lucio, but that isn't always, or even usually, the right pair for the job. So today we're talking about when to pick which support heroes. So here's our list, but wait, Torbjorn? Well, we'll get to that in a bit, but let's start by dividing these guys into some easy categories. So the most basic one is how much they heal for. Ana and Mercy have big heals. Lucio and Zenyatta have small heals, they heal for less. Torbjorn and Symetra don't have any healing at all. Instead, they have flat HP buffs and utility. Almost all teams need at least one big healer, so Ana or Mercy. The exception to this is some teams that have a lot of sustain by themselves, for example, soldiers, roadhogs, meis, sombras, and heroes with shields. Also on offense, there are blitz dive compositions that go for fast, all-in fights. These compositions don't need a big healer because the fights happen so fast, it's mostly about DPS. But in most cases, you need one of these 2 heroes. Ana is better with compositions that try to get in close, where she can hit both allies and enemies with her grenade. She also has the highest healing output in the game to offset the high amount of damage these close-range heroes like to take. Tanks like Reinhardt and Winston obviously fit the bill here, but even heroes like Tracer or Genji who get in close can benefit from that double function of the grenade. Mercy is good with ranged heroes like Soldier, Pharah, and Bastion. These heroes aren't always taking damage, so the fact that Mercy can help them with damage boost here is great. Plus, these heroes tend to spread out, giving Mercy a lot of mobility. Teams that have very key heroes like one important main tank or one important main DPS are good with Mercy, because the fight isn't over once that one key hero dies. Mercy can just resurrect them and keep the fight going. Mercy and Ana also have a huge difference in the types of maps they like. Ana likes simple, flat maps with long sight lines like Route 66. On these maps, she can stand far back and not worry about losing line of sight or getting outmaneuvered by heroes with high vertical mobility. Mercy, on the other hand, is great on tight, meandering maps with different levels like most of Oasis and Dorado. She can heal through walls with the way her beam targets and fly around, so it's easy for her to juke and escape enemies and get easy reses off in these types of maps. One last big difference between these 2 heroes is that Mercy can heal through enemy shields, where Ana cannot. Especially with Orisa coming out, you won't want to pick Ana into teams with too many shields, particularly Winston, who tends to drop it right in the middle of the fight where your teammates are. Now, the most normal way to go about a team composition is to pair one of these big healers with a small healer. These 2 guys. They like certain maps as well. Zenyatta again likes long, flat maps where he can shoot orbs from far away safely, whereas Lucio likes tight, multi-level maps where he can outmaneuver everyone. Plus, the very large range on his Harmony and Discord orb makes Zenyatta stronger at range, whereas the Lucio's much smaller aura is better than everyone, when everyone is grouped up. Because of this close range versus long range thing, Lucio tends to be a lot better at offense, because you're trying to rush onto a position, right? Plus the attacking team has more control over their own positioning, so they can be grouped up if they want to. On defense, it's very possible for the enemy team to split you up, and staying in a ball is harder in that case. Also, Lucio's ultimate can be used at any time, even preemptively, to bust through a point. On the other hand, Zenyatta is better on defense, where he can just spam orbs at choke points. His healing ultimate is much more reactive than Lucio's shield ultimate, so that's a more defensive ability as well. Again, also, because on defense your team can be forced to fight on multiple fronts, the fact that Zenyatta can heal one person here, while discording someone to help over there, and also adding damage with his Orb of Destruction gives him a lot more control over the fight on a wider scale than Lucio. Naturally here, we're presented with 2 pairs right off the bat. Zenyatta and Ana both like similar maps and playstyles, so pairing them up seems pretty natural, and it's a great pair, especially on defense. If the two supports work together, they're almost unkillable really by flankers because of their strong damage, so they can just stand far back and support the team very safely. The other pair is Lucio and Mercy. Both like similar maps, and Mercy is much more likely to be within range of Lucio's aura than either of the other two healers. So again here, the supports can work together a bit in that way, healing each other. This composition would favor offense because of Lucio. Lucio and Zenyatta, they're both small healers, right? But like I said before, on super dive compositions, Lucio can speed everyone in, and Zenyatta can mark a target for death as everyone converges on it. In this case, the lesser healing won't really matter because of how fast the fight is executed. One more example is Ana plus Mercy. They obviously have a lot of healing, but generally it isn't the best because of the lack of utility the small healers normally bring to the table. But if you have a team with a good amount of HP but no self-sustain at all, the additional healing can be beneficial. Plus, if you have like a triple tank setup with an important DPS hero like Pharah, who you're relying on to do damage, and you don't have a lot of self-sustain in that composition, you've satisfied the preferred team compositions for both Ana and Mercy. Finally, we'll talk about these off supports, the supports that don't heal. Both of these heroes buff teammates' health pools, and both of them have strong area denial, but are easily outplayed in a direct fight. So they're both best put to use when your team is taking the direct fight, and these heroes are just helping. We'll be talking about pretty similar attributes with these heroes that we were talking about before too. Symetra likes meandering maps with lots of tight spaces where she can easily hide sentry nests and have enough cover to get in close for her main weapon. These types of maps also give her good places to hide her buildings, close to the point but also out of sight. Her general playstyle synergizes with tanks because she likes to get up close with them and use their big bodies as cover to do damage in melee range. Torbjorn, on the other hand, likes straight maps with open spaces where his turret can deny a good area of the map and where he can spam from long range with his rivet gun. His armor synergizes well with shields, which is why a lot of players playing with Symetra together, that's like a cheesy sort of composition, his armor goes underneath the shields, so it won't be removed by random chip damage and it lasts a lot longer. But that's good with Zarya and Zenyatta, who just naturally have shields as well. He does better with longer range heroes who are vulnerable to flankers because his turret shuts flankers down, removing one of the big weaknesses from that team composition. To use one of these heroes, first you need an area that you want to deny. That's why they're usually not very good on attack, because usually there isn't really any area that's worth denying that isn't already defended. On defense though, particularly maps with only one obvious flanking route, these heroes can potentially shut down a lot of options for the defenders. For example, on Volskaya Industries, point A, Torbjorn can put a turret up that shuts down flankers using the back side, that back flanking route, forcing the attackers to bust completely through the front. Oftentimes, it's best to pair these heroes with just one big healer. You can run two healers, but you have to ask if at that point you don't have enough frontline fighting power to really win a fight. Generally, if you run 3 supports like that, you have to pair it with 3 tanks, just so you have enough frontline power behind the composition. Instead, it's usually best to run some self-sustaining heroes like Soldier with just one healer if you're going to be running a Torb or Symetra. As for the Torb-Symetra combo used together, this is an incredibly map-specific sort of thing. It's great on Hanamura Point A, for example, because on one side you have an environment that's perfect for Torbjorn, and on the other side is an environment perfect for Symetra. Plus, there are so few entrances that you can just shut everything down, deny everything. On any map with more than 2 good paths, however, the other team will just flank around and make your area denial strategy pretty ineffective. Alright, well that was a lot of information we just went over, so I'll leave it at that, but you should now have a pretty good idea, pretty good roadmap, to know which support heroes to pick and when. I hope you do at least. Leave any questions and comments below, and have a great day, guys. Never forget to stay positive. Peace out.
Okay, I had to kill him. Lucio's